Welcome everyone to this explainer. If you're embarking on the 42 network journey, you know you're facing a super challenging, but absolutely incredibly rewarding path. Today, we're going to break down the C00 module, step by step. My goal as your professor and guide today is to walk you through these technical specifications and basically demystify each exercise so you can write your C code with total confidence. Get ready because we're going to figure out exactly what's being asked of you.
Okay, here's our syllabus for the day. First, the foundation. Second, iteration and ASCII math. Third, branching logic. Fourth, combinatorics. And finally, number 5, the final boss.
Starting right off with Section 1, the foundation, focusing on Exercise 00 FT put char. We start our journey by learning literally the only tool you are allowed to use. You know, you can't build a house without understanding your hammer, and in C00, your hammer is Exercise 00.
So breaking down the specs for Exercise 00, your objective here is to create a function called FT put char. It takes a single character, passed as a parameter C, and it displays it. Now, the super explicit rule here is that you absolutely must use write. You can't just use printf or any other standard library function you might be used to. No, you have to build this from scratch using the standard write system call.
The absolutely crucial point here is understanding these parameters, because you're going to rely on this exact write function to display output in literally every single subsequent exercise. So let's break it down together as a class. That first parameter, the number 1, that stands for the file descriptor for standard output, meaning your terminal screen. The second parameter, %C, is the actual memory address of the character you want to print. And that final parameter, 1, tells the system to write exactly 1 byte of data. Master this one line of code, guys, because it is your lifeline for the rest of the module.
Moving right along to Section 2, iteration and ASCII math, which covers exercises 01 to 03. Here, we're introducing loops and the really cool fundamental concept that characters are actually just numbers under the hood.
Exercise 01 asks you to display the lowercase alphabet in ascending order, right, from A to Z. Exercise 02 asks for the exact opposite, descending order from Z to A. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates how simply flipping your logic from an increment to a decrement changes your entire output. In C, characters have numerical values, so you can literally start a variable at the letter A and just use a loop to add 1 to it, char++, until you hit Z. For exercise 02, you do the reverse. You just start at Z and subtract 1, char --, until you hit A.
For exercise 03, printing single digits from 0 to 9, you're going to follow the exact same ASCII incrementing logic you just mastered with the alphabet. But remember, and this is a big one, the character 0 is not the integer 0. It's a printable character. You can start at the character 0 and just loop upwards exactly like you did with the letters. It really reinforces this idea that everything you're printing is just a sequential character code.
All right, Section 3, branching logic. Exercise 04. FT_ is negative. We aren't just blindly looping anymore. Now our code actually needs to make a choice.
Here is a massive hint from me to you for FT_ is negative. Read the instructions extremely carefully. You need to evaluate the integer n. You'll need to use conditional branching logic, like if-else statements. If n is strictly less than 0, you use your FT put char function to write n. But here is the trap so many students fall into, the number 0. The instructions explicitly state that if n is positive or 0, you display p. Always pay attention to those edge cases.
Let's take a deep breath as we enter Section 4, Combinatorics. These are the brain teasers of the module. We're talking exercises 05, 06, and 08, dealing with printing unique number combinations without any duplicates whatsoever.
Okay, let's take a look at exercise 5, FT print com. You have to print 3 unique digits in ascending order. Now, what's really fascinating about these specific rules is how avoiding duplicate sets completely dictates the entire structure of our looping logic. Think about it. You can't print 987 because 789 already covers that exact combination of digits, and you can't print 999 because digits can't repeat, meaning your first digit can never be larger than your second, and your second can never be larger than your third.
So here's my biggest tip for structuring your algorithm. Think in layers. By nesting 3 separate while loops, you can control each position. Your outer loop handles the first digit. Your middle loop handles the second digit, but you absolutely must initialize it to always be one value higher than that first digit. Then your inner loop handles the third digit,
initialized to be one value higher than the second. By forcing each inner digit to be strictly greater than the outer digit, you just organically satisfy all those ascending and unique rules without needing some massive complicated block of if statements.
And notice how beautifully this builds from exercise 05 right into exercise 8. Exercise 05 is predictable, right? It requires exactly 3 digits, so you can just hardcode 3 nested loops. But exercise 8, ft_print_combin, introduces an adjustable n variable, representing the amount of numbers to combine, where n is between 1 and 9. You obviously can't hardcode an unknown amount of nested loops. This demands a scalable, flexible algorithm, which usually points students toward utilizing arrays to track the current digits being printed.
And here we are, Section 5, the final boss, Exercise 07 ft_put_in_br. This is the exercise that separates those who have just memorized the code from those who truly understand it. It brings every single concept we've discussed so far completely together.
The function ft_putNumber takes a standard signed integer and has to display it on the terminal perfectly. This function must handle all possible values of an integer. So, as your instructor, I am warning you right now, watch out for negative numbers. You'll need specific logic just to print that minus sign. Furthermore, watch out for the tricky minimum integer edge case. A standard signed integer has a massive negative limit, and if you simply try to multiply it by -1 to make it positive, it will actually overflow the integer maximum. You've got to handle this extreme negative value super carefully.
The big puzzle we're trying to solve here is figuring out how to break a large number apart. Remember, our hammer is right, and it only prints one single character at a time. If I give you the integer 42, you can't just throw 42 into right. You have to somehow split it into the character 4, print it, and then the character 2, and print it. So, how do we pull apart an integer programmatically?
Well, here's your golden ticket for ft_put_nbr. Use mathematical operations, specifically the modulo operator and the division operator. Think about it. If you take 42 modulo 10, the remainder is 2. Boom, you successfully isolated the final digit. Then if you take 42 divided by 10, the result is 4. You've now shifted the number over to process the remaining digits. You can literally slice up the integer recursively or iteratively using just these two tools. Once it's isolated, simply add the ASCII value of the character 0 to your integer, and that converts it right into a printable character for your write function.
And just like that, we've mapped out the entire C00 module. You now understand the basic write function, how ASCII math lets us iterate through characters, how to branch your logic, how to approach nested loop combinatorics, and how to divide and conquer integers for ft_putNumber. Now that you've got the mechanics and the reasoning behind each step, the rest is totally up to you. Fire up your text editor, take it one step at a time, and start writing some brilliant C code. You've conquered printing basic variables today, but ask yourself this: what happens when you need to manipulate raw memory addresses instead? We will leave that fun mystery for your next module. Good luck out there.